Warning, if you have a weak stomach, you should not watch this video. We strongly suggest that you never visit the deep web, and we will not be giving out any information on how to find the things talked about. This video is for educational purposes only. Number 15. For all of you who are still having second thoughts about paying a visit to the so-called and extremely notorious deep web or dark net, here's the first disturbing thing you can stumble upon. How do you feel about cyber cannibals? There are so many cannibalistic forums on the deep web about both worst case scenarios eating people and including a situation where you're being eaten by people. Some of the forum members even chat, discuss, and arrange meetings to eat each other. Yes, you heard that correctly. Some of them are offering themselves as a delicious meal, while the others are eager to try the real thing. Our word of advice is that if you're experiencing some weight problems, then those aren't the forums and websites you want to be noticed on. Who knows, you might easily find yourself on someone's menu. Do these modern cannibals satisfy all their fantasies only in cyberspace? We sure hope this is the truth. Otherwise, it would be hard to imagine that your friendly neighbor is a nocturnal cyber cannibal who visits the local grocery store for some other shopping and nutritional objectives. Number 14. Do you want to hear the last communications of lost and crashed planes? Well, the deep web can certainly give you plenty of those. It's a really disturbing thing to hear someone's last words, isn't it? There are quite a few websites that has original and authentic transcripts and voice recordings of planes right before they are crashing or disappearing. Yes, they have it, in case you're already wondering. The infamous 9/11 Flight 93 transcript is also available on one of those websites. On the other side, you just can't help yourself wondering how it's possible to get these things. Yet some disturbing things such as these are definitely better to remain as they are, unknown and mysterious. We can't even imagine a market where you could trade or buy these disturbing and shocking materials, can you? If you have a Hollywood dream you want to see come true, this could be an unorthodox but efficient way to get inspiration or prepare for a movie role. Otherwise, you're entering a dark and disturbing place, which can be quite a traumatizing experience. Number 13. How about some things? Wait, maybe it's better and more accurate to say products made out of human skin and flesh. In the deepest depths of the deep web, you can find people who are selling human flesh products such as food, wallets, belts, etc. You know how they say, from the people for the people, right? We don't know how they actually obtain their merchandise, and to be quite honest, we have no intention in finding out. These disturbing products raise all kinds of questions. Is there a clothing industry on the deep web? We don't want to know. Yet, according to unofficial deep web sources, this is a growing industry, which has a loyal customer army. The famous slogan, "Do not wear fur," in this case has a completely different meaning, doesn't it? Just imagine how an ordinary order must have looked like. Or how about this slogan, 100% natural products? Oh boy, this is really disturbing. Number 12. Sometimes it's actually possible to find everyday common things on the deep web. However, the catch is how they market it. Take this very illustrative and disturbingly gross example of something ordinary for sale on the deep web. How about DIY surgeon tools and materials? You can easily find and order a DIY vasectomy kit. Yeah, really, this isn't a joke. On the other side, it's not recommended to look for additional materials, which can help you perform the full-scale operation. You know why, don't you? What about the surgeon objects and volunteers? Can you get those somewhere around the deep web as well? Oh boy, there are certainly better ways for you to fulfill your childhood fantasies about becoming a doctor or a nurse, right? Trust us, there has to be a simpler and less controversial alternative to achieve this. DIY kits have to have reasonable limitations. Otherwise, who knows what's next? For the deep web enthusiasts, not even the sky is the limit. Number 11. For this discovery, you have to have one hell of a strong stomach to digest it. There are websites where women put up the disturbing photos of their stillborn babies. Yes, this is true. You can find the sites, which are dedicated entirely to these women who simply can't deal with the devastating fact that their babies were stillborn. These websites are filled with shocking pictures of dead fetuses, What's even harder to accept is they're dressed up as regular babies you can see online, and they're in real life situations. What's even harder to accept is they're dressed up as regular babies you can see online, and they're posed in real life situations. In addition, there's this really sad and extremely creepy song playing in the background as you scroll through these heartbreaking photos. This is undoubtedly the pitch dark zone of the dark net, yet the deep web is all about heartbreaking and mind-blowing content. Things like this don't have other places online to hide. Number 10. Have you ever wondered what's the best and most efficient way to summon demons? Well, the deep web comes with an extensive and impressive knowledge base in this field. There's more than a handful of websites about summoning demons. In addition, there are even groups of enthusiasts who just can't wait to summon new and old demons, so it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to join them. Are we sure that these practices actually work when it comes to summoning demons? Well, we aren't particularly eager to try some of them firsthand. That's why we also don't know if there's a guarantee of some kind for using these summoning techniques. Either way, if you want to be an expert demonologist, we guess you have to see it yourself. You've been warned. In case you decide to do something on your own, you'll have to go back to the deep web to find an exorcist, right? In case you're thinking about your first independent horror movie, this might be the place you should begin your research work. Number 9. Here's a true classic amongst the most disturbing things you can find on the deep web. This is probably one of the easiest places to buy a gun. Without any exaggeration, we can say that the darknet is an outstanding gun shop. If you can't find it here, then you definitely need to join the army. We have some questions about the warranty and delivery policy when it comes to ordering guns from the deep web. However, there was no one around to address our questions and concerns. We can only imagine what type of gun dealers are advertising their goods on the dark net. You definitely don't want to meet them in person, do you? Why bother buying a gun when you can get a professional hitman in the same cyberspace? Yet this is pretty much as disturbing. An illegal gun market which functions with a few simple clicks. You could build an entire dark army on the deep web. Number 8. Let's talk about more of the last words you can find on the deep web. Inmates' last words are something that's available. It's a little hard to understand and justify, but they're extremely popular among deep web fans, especially the final statements of notorious death row inmates in Texas before they were executed. Can we find some words of eternal wisdom among these disturbing last statements of criminals about to die? Well, you have no other choice than to listen to all of them in order to find out for sure. We can imagine all horror and despair concentrated in those last few words. Not to mention the disturbing emotions heavily concentrated in the dying breath of all those men. Who's recording all these last statements? Maybe this is an official obligation of the state itself involved in the executions. They're recording everything and anything. Okay, but who's making them publicly available? Hey guys, I have 2 hours of last inmates recordings. What's your best offer? There's a special discount for the electric chair execution recordings. This may sound strange to you, but when it comes to the deep web, it's practically normal. Number 7. Have we mentioned it yet? What's happening with credit cards? Well, if you want to be the next Jason Bourne, all you have to do is look for stolen or fake credit cards on the dark net. What you're going to do with them, it's entirely up to you. This is the right place for people who want to witness how money moves in mysterious ways. You will even find people who are ready to steal anyone's credit card information for the right offer. So how should we treat the dark net then? As some kind of online bank which doesn't care too much about the ethics? On the other hand, as soon as you find a solution for a fake credit card, who's stopping you from actually solving the problem of obtaining a fake passport as well? That poor and naive Jason Bourne, he could have solved all of his problems with the help of the dark net. You get fake documents and guns in the matter of days, and you're good to go against your former employers in the CIA. As simple as that with the deep web. Number 6. We're getting close to our top 5 most disturbing deep web choices. No matter what you do or know, there's simply no way of preparing yourself for minimizing the shock itself. Perhaps the most famous thing about the darknet is the very fact that you can get almost every drug ever made. Drugs on the deep web range from top quality marijuana all the way to pills, heavy drugs, and acid. Allegedly, you don't have to worry because the delivery can be very discreet when it comes to both packaging and delivery. Number 5. We're entering the top 5 zone of our list. prepare yourself for the worst of the worst disturbing things you can find on the deep web. There's a whole bunch of specialized websites where you can find hackers for hire. These guys will do anything and everything for you with their computers. They just simply don't care. It can be your ex's Facebook account or even top secret government websites. For the right price, you'll get the worst imaginable thing being executed according to your wishes. That's not all. This is only the cyber world, so how about the real one? Here it goes. While browsing the darknet one fine day, you may easily find a site where some guys claim to steal anything you ask for them to steal. After they successfully acquire your order, they even send you a photo to prove they actually got it. Here's the best thing about these thieves for hire. They actually have a list of items that are ready for sale that clients previously ordered but never actually claimed for real. How thoughtful of them indeed. There are so many bad deep web guys who are just waiting to be hired. Do they have some kind of syndicate, or are they still freelancers? This was a bad joke, and we sure hope some of them aren't watching this video. Number 4. What happened to good old porn? Isn't this something we should find as soon as we step into the deep web? Well, this simply isn't true. There's porn, of course, but when it comes to the deep web, it simply has to be the most bizarre porn you could possibly imagine. The darknet is full of all sorts of unimaginable and creepy fantasies. We'd rather not go into the specific details, but trust us when we say that whatever kind you could possibly think of, it's definitely there. You just can't prepare yourself for the shocking porn content available on the deep web. How about a guy who broadcasts a live stream of a hidden webcam which shows his own sister? And this isn't even that disturbing when compared to the most controversial and shocking combinations. Number 3. Here's the bronze medal winner on our list. There's no way you can guess this one. At the time, the number 3 spot perfectly illustrates the unpredictable and shocking nature of the deep web. Have we told you that the deep web can be funny sometimes? When we say that you're about to experience a mind-blowing experience, what's your very first idea? Let's face it, admit it right now, you're thinking about girls or drugs, or both, aren't you? Well, this is exactly what one of the darknet enthusiasts had on his mind while ordering a mind-blowing experience product on a deep web site. The next thing you know, he ended up with a dustbuster. Yes, you can get something ordinary as a dustbuster. It turns out that the darknet doesn't have to be necessarily so dark and shocking in a negative way. For what it's worth, this guy didn't complain. Maybe this wasn't a mind-blowing experience in the traditional deep web style, but then again, no one really got hurt neither. Number 2. We're getting close to the most disturbing finale on our deep web list. What do you have to say about medical experiments? There were a few darknet websites which promote organizations conducting experiments on live humans. This is something similar to the notorious Unit 731 in World War II. The most shocking thing is the number of details and stunningly precise descriptions. They are definitely very medically accurate. Fake or not, these descriptions were bone-chilling and hard to imagine. In addition, some of the experiments that were precisely documented are hard to examine and accept. And again, those disturbing questions following them inevitably. How they find the test subjects. What's happening with these volunteers? This is so disturbing that we're speechless. When you visit some of these sites, you get this funny feeling that Josef Mengele, the infamous Nazi angel of death, has found his cyber paradise. This is certainly the scariest thing about the darknet. Is someone playing with your mind by showing you all of these shocking but fake materials? Or are you unfortunately witnessing the real and disturbing events? Maybe the deep web is just one gigantic experiment which has an insatiable hunger for new test subjects. We aren't eager to find out ourselves. Number 1. There's no clear winner at the number 1 position when it comes to the deep web. In case you've been wondering how bad things are, here's one simple word of advice. You should definitely avoid all videos or pictures on the darknet which are directly or indirectly associated with child porn, not to mention the extremely disturbing forums and fan clubs. These real-life pedophiles can easily mess up your mind, and you'll easily forget where the fine line is between fiction and reality in this field. Can you imagine one of these guys fantasizing about being a judge in the Toddlers and Tiaras show? The darknet exists deep under the surface of the conventional internet. If you're thinking about going onto the deep web, rest assured that you'll find more than you ever looked for. One thing is more than certain: you'll never be the same. The dark side of the deep web is pitch dark for a reason. We've given you 15 reasons, or better to say, clear warnings to stay away from the deep web. Curiosity first shocked, then killed the deep web cat. Remember that. Got an idea for a top 15 video? Be sure to submit it at top15s.net/submit. Be sure to subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching.